Hello and welcome. You're watching me on youtube.com/ndtv. My name is Rishika Barua, and if you go to our website today, we have all the latest updates as we continue to track the Delhi story very closely. Now, as the days have progressed, it's been 4 continuous days. Even last night, our reporters who fanned out across key affected areas in the northeastern parts of Delhi have said that even though the situation appears to have been better than the first 3 days that Delhi saw unprecedented violence, they were still, despite the assurances, despite the number of boots on the ground, there were still some reports that came in of arson, of violence in certain parts of northeastern Delhi. So that continues to remain our top focus. What's now emerging, given the fact that there is an uneasy calm in several parts, is the stories of those who have been injured, of the kith and kin of those who have lost their lives in this mindless, unprecedented violence. And of course, stories of damage to livelihoods, permanent damage to livelihoods. And in the middle of all of that death and gloom, there are also stories that NDTV is reporting today on how people have stood together, how there is solidarity. There is a story that my colleague Akshay filed just a short while ago on how there was an entire Muslim neighborhood that stood in solidarity with their fellow Hindus to stop a temple from being vandalized. So there is a glimmer of hope on the ground. There are still neighbors who are standing up for each other, people seeking refuge in each other's homes in order to protect themselves from this violence. If I can just jump right in, you can go to the ndtv.com website. We're tracking all the latest updates on this story, and I'm just going to open the poll in a bit. I hope this page loads quickly. The poll clearly suggests for today, and if I can just tell our viewers, there is a lot of interest in, apart from the developments that are happening on the ground in northeastern Delhi, there is a lot of interest on what is happening in the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court yesterday, in pretty uncertain terms, actually just lambasted the Delhi police, the central government, as well as the state government, questioning them on what exactly is being done about the kind of hate speeches that have been made by several BJP leaders. So there are 4 BJP leaders who are in the dock, who are being questioned at the moment over several inflammatory speeches, hate speeches that have been made through the course of the election campaign in Delhi. Remember, Delhi saw a very polarized election campaign ahead of this election 2020. After that too, there was the BJP leader Kapil Mishra, who's been in the dock for allegedly, I mean, it could very well be possible that it was his speech in Jafrabad threatening women openly to vacate that particular area where anti-CAA protests were taking place. He said, you vacate that area in 3 days or else. So it was a very open threat. He made that comment, that speech, with a police personnel ironically standing right next to him. So there are several leaders of the BJP who've been in the dock. There are questions that have been asked of the Delhi police by the Delhi High Court yesterday. The top officials of the Delhi police were summoned by the Delhi High Court yesterday, and the Delhi High Court is very simply asked one question: why have there been no arrests made against those who have made these inflammatory speeches? Interestingly, viewers, you'd also be interested to know that yesterday the Delhi High Court actually played in open court the hate speeches that have been made by these 4 leaders in question. Now, ironically, this is a story yet again that is clouded in fair bit of controversy. The controversy surrounding the story at the moment continues to be that the judge, Justice Muralidhar, who was hearing this case in the Delhi High Court, has been transferred. His transfer orders came in at 11 p.m. but the notification for the transfer from the Supreme Court Collegium came 2 weeks ago, and when the notification for his transfer did come in for the first time, it was at that time as well that the Delhi Bar Association had actually protested against this transfer, and the notification of course came last night. There are 2 other judges who have in fact also been transferred, one from the Bombay High Court and one from the Karnataka High Court. So there are 3 transfers in all that were notified by the Collegium. The notification that the transfers have to happen and that it has to be implemented actually came in last evening at 11 p.m, prompting of course many to rake up a political storm. They're questioning the timing of this transfer when the government is claiming that there was due process followed. So top 10 developments as far as the Delhi story is concerned. The death toll figures now continue to rise. So as of this afternoon, early this afternoon, we are tracking the death toll at 34. But like we've been telling our viewers, given how grim the situation is on ground zero and how many critically injured among the 200 injured, this is the death toll figure that is most definitely expected to rise. So that's the top 10 developments. The other interesting political development that has taken place today was that Sonia Gandhi led a delegation of the Congress to meet with the President of India. Now remember, after the CWC yesterday, she held a press conference, a rare one, where she came out and demanded the resignation of the Home Minister straight. She said that he's been ineffective, he has failed to control the situation in Delhi and therefore must resign. Today, after submitting a memorandum to the President of India, Ram Nath Kovind, she led another delegation of the Congress party and has reiterated for the second day in a row the Congress party's demand for Amit Shah, Home Minister, to step down. Manmohan Singh also, the former Prime Minister, spoke to the media very briefly after submitting that memorandum to the President and has said that it is a national shame what is happening in Delhi. He has called upon the President to use his power to persuade the centre to follow their Raj Dharma. Now, the Raj Dharma comment is very interesting because if you jog your memory back to 2002 and lots of parallels being drawn at the moment, given the situation in Delhi, it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the then Prime Minister, who called upon the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi, to in fact work on his Raj Dharma. So that comment of Raj Dharma actually carries a lot of political significance given the times. Now, so one of the key developments is, of course, the opposition. The other key development, like I said, is what's happened in the Delhi High Court. The furious Delhi High Court that yesterday reprimanded the cops. Today, remember, the Delhi police, interestingly, and this is a story that has been polled as one of the top interests on our website. Presumably a lot of you are interested in this story. Today, the Delhi High Court will actually be getting a reply from the Delhi police on whether or not they will be filing those FIRs. So we're going to keep a close watch on the developments that take place at the Delhi High Court. Remember, these are hate speeches against Union Minister Anurag Thakur, local leader Kapil Mishra. Those are two in question, and there is a local MLA and an MP of the BJP who are also in the dock. Now, the other big development has been that the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval was out on the streets of the national capital yesterday in the northeastern parts of Delhi. It was pretty unprecedented to see the NSA out on the streets for the second day, for the second time in the last 24 hours, really. He's met with locals, tried to inspire confidence, acknowledged to NDTV in an interview earlier that there needs to be faith that has to be restored in the Delhi police, that people are losing faith in the Delhi police, and that is something that needs to be restored. But many at this point saying that, despite the NSA being out in the streets in the worst hit areas, he was in Jafrabad, later before that in the night he was in Silampur, there is still sporadic incidents of violence that continue. Prime Minister Modi, of course, made his first official statement yesterday. The Delhi Chief Minister too has been a little more visible after the criticism that he's come under, and among the deaths that are being reported is that of Ankit Sharma. He is an IB officer, and there's a fair bit of a political controversy that's brewing there. You'll catch the details of that story on our website as well, where an Aam Aadmi Party leader has actually been accused of killing Ankit Sharma, the IB man. This is all, it all still needs to be investigated. These are allegations that are flying thick and fast. AAP is alleging that this is politics that is being played, but the family claims that there is video evidence actually of how the AAP councillor instigated violence. All of this still within the realm of investigation, but the human cost, which is what we've been talking about, you will see a very troubling story on our television channels, on YouTube as well as on the website, of an 85-year-old woman who was burnt alive in this mindless violence. Her house was set on blaze, and her grandchildren could run up to the roof to take refuge, but she died. She sustained burned injuries, she suffocated, and she died in her own home. This is an incident that happened very close to Khajuri Khas, which is one of the areas that has been affected. For the second day in a row today, board exams stand cancelled. Class 12 had a board exam today, English board exam today, that was cancelled in the northeastern parts of Delhi. In the light of the violence that has ensued. So taking into consideration the safety, of course, this is a story that is emerging. So like we said, apart from the politics that is being played, the investigations that are being carried out at the moment, and all of the questions that are really being asked, there is a very real human cost to what has happened in the national capital, and that is really troubling. Whether it is the trauma that children are suffering, their studies are suffering, this is exam time, or whether it is those who've lost everything. There are houses that have been burnt down, shops that have been burnt down, and we're trying to get those stories out. And you'll find a lot of those first-person accounts not only running on NDTV 24/7, you'll also find them on our YouTube channel. You'll find them also, of course, on our website, ndtv.com. So this is going to continue to be a top focus story for us as we go forward and ask some tough questions on why, if there was an uneasy calm yesterday and the situation could be brought under control in several parts, there are questions that are being asked on why it wasn't done on Sunday, when the first signs of trouble really erupted in the national capital. So while we continue to ask those tough questions, while there are a lot of questions being asked of the Delhi police, while we track developments from the Delhi High Court today on what really happens in that case going forward, which is clearly of a lot of interest to our viewers, we also bring you the human aspect of this big story. So all through our website, you will in fact find all the top political developments, the developments from the Delhi High Court, and the developments from ground zero. This violence in Delhi, calling it the Delhi Riots 2020, that's a hashtag that's trending. This violence in Delhi is going to be our top focus, and you'll find all the allied stories across our portal. So if you have been watching this video, thank you very much. You can leave your comments, and we'll of course continue to keep our portals updated with all the latest. So do stay tuned. Thank you.